What if I told you that the most powerful person in the room is usually the one who says the least, not the loudest, not the funniest, not the one demanding attention, the quiet one? Think about it. Have you ever walked into a meeting where one person barely spoke, yet everyone seemed to wait for their opinion? Or noticed how, during an argument, the person who stays calm somehow ends up in control? Why does silence have that kind of power? Most people believe influence comes from talking more, but psychology suggests the opposite. The people who speak less often make others listen more, and once you understand why, you'll never look at silence the same way again. Your brain has a strange habit. When someone keeps talking, your mind slowly starts filtering them out. Their words become background noise, but when someone rarely speaks, your brain treats every sentence as valuable. It's called the scarcity effect. We naturally value things that are rare. A limited edition product feels more valuable than something available everywhere. The same principle applies to words. If someone speaks all the time, their words lose weight. If someone speaks only when it matters, every sentence feels important. That's why in many conversations, the quietest person often receives the most attention without even trying. Now, here's something even more interesting. Imagine you're sitting with 5 people. 4 of them are constantly talking. One person simply watches, listens, and smiles occasionally. Without realizing it, everyone begins wondering, what are they thinking? The silence creates mystery, and the human brain hates unanswered questions. We are wired to fill in missing information. When someone doesn't reveal everything, our imagination does the work for them. That's why mysterious people often appear more intelligent, more confident, and even more attractive than they actually are. Not because they know more, but because they reveal less. Now let's flip the situation. Think about the last time you argued with someone. One person kept raising their voice. The other stayed calm. Who looked stronger? Psychologists have found that emotional control is often mistaken for authority. The calmer person appears more confident because they don't seem desperate to prove themselves. When someone reacts emotionally, they unknowingly hand control to the other person. But silence interrupts that cycle. Instead of reacting, it forces the other person to think. And thinking is uncomfortable. That's why silence often wins arguments before another word is spoken. But here's the mistake many people make. They confuse silence with weakness. In reality, they're completely different. Weak silence comes from fear. Powerful silence comes from choice. One stays quiet because they're afraid. The other stays quiet because they don't need validation. That difference changes everything. Look at successful negotiators. The best ones don't rush to fill every pause. They make an offer. Then they stay silent. Suddenly the other person feels pressure to speak. Maybe they explain too much, maybe they lower their price, maybe they reveal information they never planned to share. All because silence created discomfort. The first person who breaks the silence often loses leverage. This works outside business too. Have you ever noticed how some people answer criticism with complete calm? Instead of defending themselves, they simply smile. That response is incredibly powerful because people expect resistance. When they don't get it, their brain becomes confused. Silence removes the conflict they were prepared for. And without conflict, they lose momentum. Here's another psychological secret.